What's up, guys? Placid Vibe here, and welcome back to another tier list. Last week we took a look at the best and worst of Breaking Bad characters. Click the eye on the screen to check out that video. But because of an overwhelming amount of support and comments, we decided to do a Better Call Saul tier list. So thank you all for the support, by the way. Now, as always, these tier lists are completely subjective. They're completely based on my opinion, and I'm going to be looking at all of these characters as characters. What role do they play in the show? How are they acted? The last thing that I'm going to be taking a look at is the more of the likability of the characters. That is going to be played into the actual ranking, but it's not the main thing. So these characters, again, I'm ranking them based off of characters as they are. Starting off first is Kim Wexler, played by Rhea Seehorn. Kim is such an incredible character. I think she is the epitome of blurring the line between good and evil. She's the counter to Saul Goodman in the show, or Jimmy. And she absolutely plays this to a T. You can't help but root for her. She's a straight shooter, she's an incredibly smart lawyer, and she's by the book. And in some cases, she actually is the opposite of Saul Goodman as the show goes on. And honestly, it's just incredible to see her trajectory throughout the show, how she changes, how she teeters the line between doing things the right way and doing things the criminal way, or doing them the non-authentic way. And that's completely against her sort of character, but it's really intriguing to see that. And that's such a good example of why the writers of Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul are just the best of the best, because of characters like this. Honestly, love the character so much, played to perfection. Kim Wexler is definitely in S tier for me. Next is Nacho Varga, played by Mando. I also really like Nacho as a character. As far as the straight just criminal storyline that they have going on with the Salamanca family, with Gus Fring, with Mike, everything that's going on there, I think that Nacho is one of the characters that really stands out to me. He adds a little glimpse of humanity. He adds a glimpse of genuineness in a realm that is really just ruthless and filled with blood money and drug dealing and ruthless people, especially in the Salamanca family. And Nacho kind of plays a middleman in all this. He sort of sides with Gus, but he's also kind of infiltrating the Salamanca family. And I love how they kind of add his father into this, because with that, you actually see why he's doing all of this. And you can actually see that beneath all of that, beneath the front that he puts on, even though he's in crime, he has a reason why he's doing it, and you could tell that he is a good person. Mando totally plays it to a great job as far as the acting is concerned. So I really like Nacho as a character, and I also really like his relationship with Mike too. It definitely helps both of them sort of grow as characters, and I just love to see the trajectory as well, as sad of a story as it can be. So with that, Nacho is going to be put in the A+ tier for me. Great character. Next, I'm going to be talking about Manuel Varga, the father of Nacho, played by Giancarlo Cantu. I'm going to just brush by this character real fast. It doesn't play a huge role in the show, now not a main character, barely side character, but I really do like what he signifies. He signifies the reason, he signifies the purpose for why Nacho does what he does, and I think that you really feel bad for him. It really gives you a look at the sort of father-son relationship that they have, and really what it means to them. And just as a father to Nacho, you see kind of how it hurts him to see what's happened, with his son, where he's gone, and just the struggle that he has. And I really do like that sense of humanity that they do have. It's a glimpse, but they have it, and I really like it that they added him in here. So because of that, I am going to be putting him at the B tier. Next, we have a 2-for-1 combo. We have Marco and Lionel Salamanca, played by Louis and Daniel Moncada. They are both men of few words. They barely speak throughout the show. They don't speak at all in Breaking Bad. And honestly, I really do like these guys because they are the wild cards. They're completely silent, completely unpredictable. They're just ruthless killers. And every time, they're walking by an innocent person, they're walking by a bystander, they get near a character you like, they're walking around, they are trouble. They are just chaos, is what they are. They're chaos incarnated in these two twins. And there's a lot of nonverbal acting, a lot of kind of looking. They have this sort of twin telepathy, and I do like that. I think that it adds sort of this intimidating factor throughout the show, and you get to learn more about them and kind of see more of their origin and more of their destruction, their path of destruction that they have leading up to Breaking Bad. So I do think that these two kind of hold it down, and I like them as Salamanca, carrying the Salamanca name. So because of that, I'm going to be putting them both at the B+ tier. Next is Juan Bolsa, played by Javier Grajeda. Not too much to say about this guy. This guy kind of plays as the political middleman between the Salamanca family and Gus Fring, kind of overseeing all that. He is a high tier member of the Salamanca family. Not much to say about him. Not super memorable, honestly, but just does what he's there to do. I do like the sort of political aspect of it that they have as a spokesman. So I do like that, but ultimately doesn't add too much to the show. And Javier does a good job playing him as well. So can't fault him. He kind of just is there. So because of that, I am going to be putting him at the C+ tier. Next, we have Crazy 8, played by Max Arciniega. Sorry if I butchered the name. First, we saw Crazy 8. He was back in Breaking Bad. He actually gets executed by Walter White right off the bat in Season 1. But in Better Call Saul, we see a little more of him. We see him in action. We see him interacting with Nacho. See him interacting with Lalo and Tuco. He just is there. He's part of the Salamanca family. He is the definition of a sort of gangster, sort of like mob type person. So, he plays there to be this criminal, this henchman in a way. And it's just interesting to see more of his character developed as well, because you don't really get to see too much of that in Breaking Bad. But it's nice to see him more developed in this show. But, he is just there, and there's not much to say about him. He's not the most likable character at all. He's there to do his job. So because of that, I'm going to be putting him also in the C tier, C+ as well. Next, we have Chuck McGill, played by Michael McKean. I think that Chuck is a incredibly complex character, incredibly well written, incredibly well acted. Michael McKean does an awesome job, and he might arguably be one of the, as far as on a psychological level, might be one of the most important parts of Saul Goodman as a character, because of their relationship that's established in the first 2 seasons of the show. Before Chuck actually passes away, he sort of looks down. He doesn't sort of. He just straight looks down on Jimmy throughout the show. He looks down on him. He's the loser brother as far as Chuck is concerned. And he makes it very clear his feelings about Jimmy. And no matter how much Jimmy tries throughout the show to rectify their relationship, to sort of make his brother proud, that's one of the driving factors that he has, right? As much as he hates Chuck, as scummy as Chuck is throughout the show, because he is. He totally is a tool bag throughout the show. But he's an incredibly smart lawyer, and he's kind of what Jimmy aspires to be in a way, for a certain point at least, until that completely changes. But it's just one of that. It's the dynamic of brotherhood. It's this dynamic of competition and jealousy, and just never being good enough. And I think that he plays such a staple in the trajectory of the Jimmy McGill storyline. And you hate him. He's just a bitter man. He can't get near electricity. I found that really unique. There's aluminum foil in his apartment. All the lights are off. It kind of adds an extra sort of psychological aspect to the character. Is he insane? Is he a genius? It's a little bit of both. It's a little bit of everything. So I think it's a really complex character. Plays a huge part in the show. But gosh, he's so unlikable. But as a character, he actually is great. So I would put him A plus bordering on an S tier, honestly. Next up, we have Gus Fring. Again, if you saw my Breaking Bad tier list, you know that I absolutely love Gus Fring. He's an incredible character, super smart. I love his methodical, cold, dead stare that he has. He's intimidating. Giancarlo Esposito does an incredible job playing him. I've said it once, I've said it again. I'll say it a million times. But I do love Gus Fring a lot. He, to me, still is on the S tier for sure. I'm going to move him there. Just waste no time on that. I think he's an incredible villain. And again, they continue to flesh him out in this show, even more so than he was in Breaking Bad. And again, just a complex character as it is. And you just see him in his domain, and it's just great to see, honestly. So, S tier all the way. Next, we have Hector Salamanca, played by Margolis. Again, this is a parallel to the Breaking Bad tier list as well. But again, Hector Salamanca, he is a man of few words, but again, he plays a great role in the series. Honestly, it's great to see him fleshed out even further in Better Call Saul, one of the main members of the Salamanca family, so he is a very important player in the game, as it were. But like the Breaking Bad playlist, I'm going to be putting Hector Salamanca on the B tier, bordering on a C, but I'm going to put him at the B tier. Next, we have Howard Hamlin. It's the firm that Saul Goodman Jimmy used to work at, but kind of strayed away from it. And this guy, Patrick Fabian, does a great job playing him. This character is your typical kind of douchey lawyer type. He's connected to McGill. His name is on the firm, and it's just this kind of upright corporate sort of tight up kind of guy. And it's really cool to see this sort of battle that he has with Jimmy throughout the series. And he doesn't like Jimmy either. But it's a chess match, and Jimmy's always messing with him. I do like the character, as scummy as it is. I do think he's acted very well. He makes for great moments throughout the show, makes for really tense moments as well. And it's just really cool, allowing Jimmy to flourish through this character as well. So because of that, I think I'm going to be putting Howard at a high B tier. And next we have the one and only Mike Ehrmantraut, played by Jonathan Banks. Again, excellent character. As I said in my Breaking Bad tier list, Mike is just an awesome character, and this show just continues to make his character even cooler. In fact, he is better in this show than he is in Breaking Bad, and he was great in Breaking Bad, but he's even better here. You see him playing a vital role with Nacho, you see a vital role with Gus. He just absolutely is a powerhouse when it comes to his acting, when it comes to the character. Even creating Gus's lab in the laundromat, I love that they were able to show that behind the scenes, and then how he had to kill the German engineer, Werner, I believe his name was. It just shows more humanity to the character, and I love that they explore me further, introducing relationship with his daughter and his granddaughter. It adds even more to his story and his character, and it makes his death in the Breaking Bad even that much more heartbreaking. So honestly, just an excellent character through and through. So without question, Mike goes at the S tier for me. Next, we have Lydia. Lydia, again, she was also in the Breaking Bad tier list. Lydia, I've never been a fan of the character, to be honest. I think she's a little annoying, and it's cool to see her face in Better Call Saul, and she continues to be this sort of behind-the-scenes type person, but honestly, she doesn't play a huge impact, all things considered. And it's just, she is a really stuck-up, pretentious character, for sure. But she is played very well by Laura Fraser. So, with that being said, without wasting too much time, I am going to be putting her at the C tier. Next, we have Huell, played by Lavelle Crawford. What can we say about Huell? Huell is one of those characters that he's funny. He's the comic relief, for sure. He made me laugh in Breaking Bad. And it's just seeing his antics. He's a very interesting looking guy. Just a comic relief type character throughout the show. And I think that Huell kind of adds an element of comedy as well. So with that being said, I think I would put Huell at the. I'd put him at the S tier. I'm kidding. I'm not putting him at the S tier. I'll put him at the C tier. Next, we have Tuco Salamanca, played by Raymond Cruz. Again, another parallel to the Breaking Bad tier list. Honestly, Tuco is a total force of nature, and he is just as much a force of nature in this show as well. And when they show him, he's just this crazy sort of meth-induced, raging criminal, and it's just really kind of funny to see him in action. And he's just a powerhouse, honestly, through and through. Another criminal. You don't want to mess with him. You don't want to get on his wrong side. He'll probably kill you with his M16. But ultimately, other than that, he is fleshed out a little further in Better Call Saul. But, you know, he doesn't play a huge role in the grand scheme of things. But as a character, I do find him really entertaining. And I find him an intimidating force in the Salamanca family. So because of that, I'm going to be putting him at the B tier once again. Next is one of my favorite additions to Better Call Saul, an incredible villain, Lalo Salamanca, played by Tony Dalton. This character is incredibly well acted. I think he's a total force. He's intimidating. He's extremely clever, extremely smart. And he's just one of those characters in a show where when he's on the screen, you don't know what he's going to do. You don't know if he's going to be mad about something. You don't know if he's messing with you. You don't know, but all you know is that he's unpredictable and he's smart and he's always one step ahead. And he makes for some amazing set pieces and some amazing tense moments in the show. And that's partly due to his writing, and that's partly due to how he's acted. But ultimately, I think he's one of the great additions to the show as far as villains are concerned, as far as the Salamanca family is concerned. He adds a whole nother level, and I just think it's an incredible character. Because of that, I'm definitely going to be putting him on the S tier for me. Next, we have Tyrese Kitt, played by Ray Campbell. Tyrese plays sort of as a henchman, the right-hand man of Gus Fring. He's kind of there to do the dirty work. He can be seen in Breaking Bad next to Victor, which I'll talk about later. But ultimately, you know, he sort of is a solid henchman. I think that he does what he's told. He's a very straight shooter. And I like that he's the kind of character to kind of get it done. He's almost sort of like Mike in a way. He's somebody that Gus can rely on, and that alone should tell you a lot about the person. He's trusted. So I kind of like that. Doesn't play a huge role, but I do think that having him in the show and having him Victor in the show as well sort of add this sort of level of seriousness as well, and they contrast very well with Giancarlo Esposito in the scenes. So with all that being said, you know, it doesn't play a huge role, but still holds it down. And I do overall like the character for what it's worth. So I'm going to be putting him at the B tier. Next, we have Stacy Ehrmantraut, the daughter of Mike Ehrmantraut, played by Carrie Condon. Stacy is an interesting character. She plays to sort of give you more inside look on Mike's relationship with his daughter, his regrets, and as a mother to his granddaughter and everything. You know, it's really interesting to see her side of the story as well. She's very well acted. She can be annoying at times, and honestly, she's just a single mother trying to do her best, you know. And you really feel for her. I do think that the character plays a vital role in Mike's story, at least. Gives it more of an impression on how home life is, what Mike's doing all this for. It's all for his granddaughter, and he does a lot for Stacy throughout the show. And, you know, there's times when she seems a little unappreciative. You know, she could be a little like that throughout the show. So, for that reason, you know, she could be a little unlikable at times. She kind of complains about things as well. And you know, it's just one of those things where, it may be in different circumstances she wouldn't be like that. But for what it's worth, she is. So, because of that, you know, I will be putting her on the B- tier. In fact, okay, I'm going to put her at the C tier. I think that she kind of is just there to sort of give Mike more of a reasoning as well. So I'm going to put her right there. Next, we have Victor, played by Jeremiah Bitsui. Honestly, this is the exact kind of same thing. He's a counterpart to Tyrese. It's the same kind of character, henchman to Gus Fring. And, he eventually gets his throat cut by him in Breaking Bad. But, again, it's good to see more backstory into his role and what he does. And, again, another sort of straight shooter, very serious, very down to business, gets things done for Gus Fring. So, it would be unfair to put him any higher than the B- tier. And the penultimate person is Irene Laundrie, played by Jean Efron, the old lady at the nursing home. Definitely just an incredible character. Really makes the show just so much better than it is. It's definitely going to be putting Irene in the S tier. Just a amazing character. Makes the show, honestly. Without her, there is no show. I'm totally kidding about that. And finally, the man of the hour, Saul Goodman, Jimmy McGill, played by the great Bob Odenkirk. As complex as characters come, I really liked Breaking Bad, him in Breaking Bad. I always liked Saul Goodman. I thought he was a really good character as the show progresses. Played amazingly, convincing, witty, smart, everything under the book, just the criminal lawyer through and through. I really liked him. And then with the addition of the spin-off, Better Call Saul, you were able to see his trajectory, how he becomes Saul Goodman. And it's an incredible story, it's an incredible show. And Bob Odenkirk does such a great job, honestly. Seeing his origin, seeing where he starts, seeing where he ends off. It just is it's just awesome. I love the character through and through. There's not much to say about him. He does mistakes throughout like everybody else, but at the end of the day, you gotta respect Saul Goodman. You gotta respect everything that he went through, and just one of the best characters in any TV show at all. Honestly, just incredible. Gonna be putting Bob Odenkirk as Jimmy McGill at the high S tier. So there you have it. There's my tier list for most of the main characters of Better Call Saul. Let me know below where you disagree, where you agree. I'd love to hear it. But thank you very much for watching. Please make sure to subscribe and comment below your thoughts and hit the notification button to learn more and stay up to date with our latest videos on tier lists, on movie reviews, on analysis, and everything like that. We upload on a weekly basis, so stay tuned. But thank you very much for watching, and have an awesome day.